Hi there, my name is Caroline. I am a physiotherapist and a yoga teacher, and today we're going to do a short practice for anyone who is completely new to yoga, who maybe feels a little bit intimidated to go along to a class that's already established, who feels like everybody might know what they're doing and you're at the back, a bit of a fish out of water. So this is a great practice to do in the comfort of your own home, just to give you the idea of what yoga is all about and some of the movements just to get you started off. So for this practice, you don't need to have anything fancy or go out and buy anything, but if you have a block or something like a firm cushion, it would be useful. And maybe a belt or a belt that you wear around your waist, or a tie or a dressing gown strap, something like that. Might be handy. You may not need them, but they might be handy to have close by just in case. So the main thing to know about yoga, or one of the main things to know, is that the flexibility that comes, the strength that comes, the control of your body, all of that comes just with consistent effort, practicing. We call it yoga practice for a reason, because we practice, we practice. It's a repetition, consistent effort. That's where we see, changes and progress with our body in terms of flexibility and strength. When we're actually just getting to know the movements and the positions, don't worry too much about exactly what it looks like, exactly what shape you're making with your body. Don't worry at all. The main thing is that you're feeling what's going on in your body. You feel the movements, you feel the stretches, you get to know your body a little bit better. And then also we're going to focus a little bit on learning how to control the breath. So the main thing to say about the breath is we're just going to keep the breath nice and smooth and steady. And if possible, we're going to try and avoid holding the breath. That just usually creates tension in the body. So we're just going to keep the breath steady and even. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start off lying down on our mats first of all. So come and have a lie down. Lie on your back. Have your feet bent up. Feet maybe slightly a little bit wider than hip width apart, just so that your knees can kind of tip towards each other there, so that legs feel supported. And just bring your arms to rest on your belly and your upper arms resting down on the floor. And just make sure your head and neck feel nice and comfortable. And just close your eyes here. Just get your body nice and comfy, and then maybe take a couple of deeper breaths in through the nose or the mouth. And exhaling all the way out through the nose or the mouth. And as you exhale, see if you can just let go of any obvious tension in your body right now. Maybe one more deep breath like that, all the way in and all the way out. And now just normal, easy, natural breathing. But with your eyes closed, I just want you to start to become more aware of your body. Start to feel your body from the inside. Maybe just becoming really aware of all your contact points between your body and the floor. So feel the soles of your feet, just resting, pressing down into the mat. Feel the back of your tailbone, your back, your shoulder blades. Feel the backs of the upper arms and the back of your head, just resting down. And maybe just check that your neck is quite relaxed here. If your head feels very strained in this position, you might want to put something under just to support the head, of that block or cushion, something just to lift the head up slightly. But eventually you'll feel more comfortable lying flat out like this. So just feeling down into those points of contact between your body and the floor. And also just kind of scanning through the rest of your body now. Just feel. Notice any sensations or feelings that are there in your body right now. Maybe any niggles or aches or pains. And we're not trying to change anything here or analyze. Just feel. Just notice how your body is right now. And now just bring your awareness to your breath. And first of all, don't try to change your breath or do anything different, but just feel the natural movement, the natural rhythm and quality of your breath, just as it is. Feel where the breath is moving in your body. Now we're going to try to just gradually take control of the breathing. So gradually start to build up to a longer, smoother, deeper breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And as the breath is getting a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, then just feel with your hands and see if you can allow your belly to expand on every inhale. So as you breathe in, breathing into the belly area, let it expand and rise up. And as you exhale, just let the belly rest back in towards your body. So inhaling through the nose, allowing the belly to expand or even visualize that's happening. And then as you exhale, let the belly drop. So we're going to try and keep breathing in that particular kind of way all through our little session today. If I say to breathe, it's that way of breathing that I'm talking about, not just any old breathing. Long, deep breaths in and out through the nose and down into the belly, where that feels possible. Now we're going to start bringing a bit of movement in here. So bring your arms down by your sides. Another thing that we often do in yoga is that we move in time with our breath. We move in the rhythm of our breath. So we're going to have a little practice of that now. So on your next inhale, I would like you to reach your arms up towards the ceiling and then all the way overhead towards the floor behind you. And then as we exhale, bringing the arms all the way back down beside your body again onto the floor. So throughout the inhale, reaching the arms up and away overhead. And as you exhale, bringing the arms all the way back down. Just doing a couple more of those. Really trying to synchronize and coordinate the movement of your arms to the rhythm of your breath. Last time, up and over. Feeling the movement in the shoulder joints, maybe a little stretch in the shoulders or the chest. And exhale to come down. Now the next time you take the arms up and overhead, take a big stretch through the full length of your body. So stretch through the fingers and the toes away from each other. Now keep breathing here. Don't hold the breath. Keep breathing. But just in and out through the nose, just as we've been doing, but maybe just really noticing the different quality, the different feel of the breath in the body with the arms and legs stretching away like this. Now on your next exhale, bring one knee in and then the other knee in and just rock the knees a little bit towards the chest, lift the tailbone off, or maybe round in little circles. Just massaging your back onto the floor. And then we're going to roll to the side and sit up, come up to sit on the floor. I should say here, which I should have said at the start, this yoga practice is going to be floor-based. So if you have difficulty getting up and down off the floor easily, I'm going to have a short chair yoga practice, which is brilliant for anyone who struggles to get up and down off the floor. So also recommended. Okay, we're going to be sitting. Now, if you don't feel comfortable in cross-leg position, you don't have to be in cross legs. Here would be, if you have quite tight hips or back and you're not used to sitting on the floor, it's a good idea to sit on that block or your cushion to lift your hips up. I'm always on, I'm going to do a video on this as well, I'm always on at people to sit on the floor more often. We get out of the habit of it. Most of us probably since primary school have not really sat on the floor for any length of time. And our bodies need to sit on the floor. It's natural position. You can see, I have naturally tight hips. So when I first started doing yoga, I sat like this. But I sit on the floor all the time at home. I tend not to sit in chairs, I sit on the floor. And it's a very natural way to naturally open out the hips, stretch the hamstrings if we're sitting like this, stretch out the back. It's a really good thing to do. So top tip number 1, sit on the floor whenever you can. Until you get more used to it, sit on something, a block, a cushion, something like that, lift the hips up. And also as we're going through here, feel free to move however you want to move. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of movement just through the neck, the shoulders and the back here. So lifting up lightly through the crown of the head, not too stiff or straight, but just lifting up through the crown. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. We're going to do some simple movements through the neck first of all. So on your next inhale, lift your chin up, let your head drop back. And then as you exhale, just bring the head forwards and down. Chin towards the chest. Just go gently, inhaling to reach up and exhaling to look down. Inhaling up, feel the stretch in the throat area, and exhaling down. And then just bring the head back into that neutral position again. Now we're going to go side to side, still with the breath. So as we inhale, we're going to stay in the middle, starting off in the inhale, middle position. And as we exhale, just tilt your head slightly down to one side. Just a little tilt. Inhale to the middle again, and then exhale to the other side. Go gently. Inhale middle, exhale to the side. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Inhale middle, and exhale to the side. Inhale middle. We'll do that once more, but we'll just hold or stay in this position for another full breath this time. So let the head feel quite heavy to the side. No forcing or pushing it down, just let it rest to the side. Another breath there. And then coming back up into the middle, and we'll do that to the other side as well. So drop the head to the other side. It's quite nice to close your eyes for these small movements and just feel the stretch into that opposite side of the neck. Last breath. And then coming back up from there. Okay, we'll do some movement through the shoulders and the arms now. So we're just going to do some circles just with the shoulder joints first of all. So squeeze the shoulder, or the shoulder girdle I should say. Squeeze the shoulder blades back together and then up, and maybe inhale as they come up and past the ears, and then roll them forwards and down. Just do 3 in each direction, back and up and forwards and down. And again, it's nice to close the eyes just to really feel the movement of the shoulder blades rolling around the back of your chest wall. And then go the other way, so forwards, up, inhale as the shoulders come up, and then exhale back and down. Forwards and up on the inhale, and exhale back and down. Last one. Hopefully you feel maybe a little bit of release of tension around that neck and shoulder area as you do that. Okay, we're going to come into the spine now. So keep the hands on the knees or on the shins. And this time, I'll show you this one from the side. So this time, as you come forwards, we're going to flex and extend through the spine this time, get the back moving. So as you inhale, bring your belly forwards, lift your chest up a little bit as well, through the arms. And then as you exhale, just start to slouch and slump down a little bit. So inhaling forwards, lift the chest, look up. And then exhale, slumping, slouching down. Inhale forwards, exhale back. One more. Really feel the movement of the spine, exaggerate it as much as you can. And then back into the middle, into a neutral position again. And then, whoops, I need to turn my block around as well. Forgot about that. And then we're going to do another side stretch now. Again, if your legs are getting uncomfortable in that cross-leg position, this can be done with the legs straight out or however you feel. It doesn't really matter. Just be comfortable. Take one hand down to the side, maybe to the right side, and you're going to stretch up your left arm. Inhale, big reach up, and then exhaling, reaching away overhead. It may be as I can't work out because I'm so used to teaching real people and I'm always mirroring them. So when I'm saying my left arm, it's actually my right arm, but I can't quite work out on the video if it's my left or my right that I'm doing. Anyway, I'm sure I'll figure it out in due course. Okay, other side, so put your other hand down. Inhale to stretch up that opposite side, and then exhaling to reach overhead, just to wherever feels right, just into the edge of any resistance, and breathe. Make sure you're not holding the breath. One more breath here. And then coming back down. I'm going to do a little twist through the spine this time. So bring one hand to the outside of the opposite knee. Again, this could be done with straight legs, so just be comfortable. And twist and open up the body to that side. So if the right hand, I'll say what I'm doing this time, right hand on the outside of your left knee, we're going to twist around to the left side and look over that left shoulder as well. So the twist is going all the way up into the neck and the base of the head, and then back round to the middle and then to the other side. So left hand to the outside of the right knee, maybe lengthening up through the spine a little bit, and twist to look over that right shoulder and breathe. Just notice if you have a tendency or a habit to hold the breath at any point. One more breath here. And then back round to the middle. Okay, we're going to come over onto our hands and knees now, and we might just warm up our wrists for a moment. I'm going to put my block out of the way just for a sec. So we can come into a kneeling position or stay on the floor, it doesn't really matter. But we're going to just bring our wrists forwards and do a little bit of rotation, circles with the wrists. So you will find if you were going along to like a regular yoga class, there's quite a lot of weight bearing in the arms, a lot of planks, downward dog, these kind of movements. And again, if you're not used to taking the weight in the arms, the wrists can feel it a little bit. So it's good to just wake the wrist joints up a little bit, get the fluid moving within the joints before we start taking some pressure on the arms. Okay, coming into a hands and knees position now. So for some cat-cow, this is a lovely mobility exercise for the spine again, and just to wake up all those structures in the back, and also the hips and the shoulders as well. So this time as we inhale, we're going to let the belly drop down, lift the head, lift the hips up behind you, so we're arching the back. And then as you exhale, drop the head, tuck the hips down, and pull the belly in, round the back. So inhaling to drop the belly, lift the head, lift the hips, and then exhaling to round the back. One more like that. Inhale, arch the back, drop the belly, and then exhaling to round. And from here we're going to come down into a child's pose. So this is where we take the hips back towards the heels, and if you're not sort of getting fully back, it's best just to maybe be up on your elbows or forearms and just go back to wherever you can. To wherever feels right for your body. Do not strain. Or if you feel a bit more comfortable here, you can maybe take the head to the backs of the hands, or maybe even head on the floor. Again, it doesn't matter, just be comfortable and take another couple of long deep breaths here. Just feeling that stretch into the hips, the knees and the ankles, and a little bit into the lower back as well. So last breath. Now coming back up into hands and knees, we're going to lift into a plank position now. So tuck your toes under and either into a full plank like this, or if that feels a little bit too much for your body, you can just keep the knees down and drop the hips slightly, but still keep slightly firm through the middle of the body, through the core. So using that core strength. So either half plank or full plank. And if you're in the full plank, really push back into the heels, have the legs feeling strong, belly pulled in, push up into the upper part of the back. So we're slightly rounding into the upper part of the spine. Now coming down to the floor, so drop the knees and coming all the way down to the floor now. We're going to do a couple of little cobra movements. So hands close to the shoulders, and we're trying to use the back muscles here. So don't be tempted to use the arms completely so the back isn't really doing anything. We're going to keep it nice and low, so we're going to work the back. So inhale to lift just a little, head and chest, and then exhale down. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. This time lift, and if you want to check if you are using your back muscles or not, take the hands off the floor and you'll feel that you are, in fact, using your back muscles. Okay, coming down, and then pushing back up into hands and knees, round the back, and then we're going to tuck the toes under and lift up into a downward facing dog position now. So this is where we lift the hips up nice and high into, it's like an upside down V shape. Now, you don't need to have straight knees here, so you can keep the knees quite bent, quite bent. And you can also just kind of bend one knee and then the other, just kind of easing into the backs of the legs. Let the head and neck relax. Just getting used to that position for a moment. Let the head feel heavy. Notice what you feel. And then we're going to come up to standing now. So just step or walk feet towards the hands. Let your knees bend, or even hands towards the feet. And we'll just roll up into a standing position, up to the top. And take a little stretch out through the front of the body once we're up. We're going to do one loose forward fold movement, and then we're going to go through a sun salutation, which is often what we find at the beginning of yoga classes to warm up the body, to get into all the main areas, strengthening for the core, and it also helps us to get into the way of linking our breath to the movement. So we're going to do that in a moment. First, just a nice loose forward fold to stretch out the whole back line of the body. So drop down through the head, the shoulders, rolling down through the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. So not really trying to get anywhere, not trying to touch the toes or anything else. Let your knees bend here and just let everything feel quite loose and heavy. Drop the head. Close your eyes, breathe, and just notice how that feels in your body. Your forward fold might look something more like that. Perfect. Whatever it looks like, ideal. What does it feel like? That's the main thing. One more breath here. And then coming up. So rolling back up through the spine all the way up to the shoulders and the neck. Now we're going to come through one sun salutation together. So stand up towards the top of your mat. If you don't have a mat, don't worry. I mean, hard wooden floor or hard floor is not ideal. Maybe carpet would be best, or putting down a little towel or blanket, fine. You know, you don't have to have all the gear, all the equipment. Yoga is very simple. You don't even need, nothing really. Clothes that you can move in, a little bit of space, that's about it. That's all you need. Okay. Feet together, starting off with the feet together, the toes and the insides of the heels or ankles are touching, and spread out your toes really widely. So you've got you're spreading out your base of support, spreading out all your toes, and then press all your toes down into the floor. So you feel like you're kind of activating the soles of the feet, waking up the muscles in the soles of the feet, which are very important. And I might do a little video on that sometime as well. Okay, then switch your leg muscles on, thighs active, belly pulled in, pelvic floor squeezed up and lifted on, and that's the front and back passage muscles, squeezed and lifted up and inside. Shoulders back, arms active by the sides, tuck the chin in, lift up through the back of the neck. So you feel the spine tall, long, and you feel like you're standing strong and active. Now we're going to move through Sun Salutation A with the breath. Just do your best, follow along. So inhaling to reach the arms up, and then exhaling into a forward fold. Just loose, keep it gentle. Inhale, halfway lift, looking up, flatten the back. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down, step or walk back into plank position or your half plank, and lowering down to the floor with control. Inhale into a little cobra. So we've done most of these movements already. And then this time exhale back over the knees and into that downward facing dog position. So lifting the hips up nice and high, and let the heels drop down. You want your feet to be about hip width distance apart and your toes turned very slightly inwards. Remember, your knees don't need to be straight, they can have a bend. But in the hands, think about spreading out the fingers, press down into the bases of all the fingers, and think about pushing the floor away from you, or pushing your weight out of your hands and towards your feet. Relax your head and neck, and take one more breath here. Full deep breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. And then coming forward, so step or walk the feet towards the hands. Halfway lift, looking up, flatten the back. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way back up, and exhaling, arms down by the sides. Great, that is a sun salutation. Once your body gets used to the movements a little bit more, especially the downward dog, which it's a challenge to begin with, for sure. You feel it in the shoulders, you might feel it on the backs of the legs, but your body gets used to all these things pretty quickly if you do them regularly, consistently. We're going to come back down to the floor now, so drop your head down, Just rolling down through that spinal roll again. Roll the shoulders and roll through every level of the spine into the hips. This time we're going to come right down into a crouch position. So just let your heels come off, coming right down into a crouch, and make yourself really small. And I keep having to remind myself not to shout. I keep shouting into the microphone. Again, because I'm used to teaching a normal class where my head is down, or like this, I normally increase my volume so that people hear me. But when I've been doing these videos, it's like, it just about breaks my microphone. Anyway, okay, coming back into hands and knees now. Just doing a couple more of those cat-cow movements. So lifting up the head, drop the belly as you inhale, exhaling to round the back. One more, loosening off the back, the spine again. And then lifting up into one more downward dog, just stretching back there into that upside down V shape, just for one breath. And then we're going to come down onto the floor and sit down onto your mat. Alrighty, so now we might want to have that little belt handy. You can keep sitting on the block if it feels good to stay up on your block or your cushion. We're going to do a couple of seated postures now. So bring your, I'll do it the right way around. Left leg long and your right heel in towards the groin. So we want a nice angle at the hips, a wide angle at the hips. If you've got any issues with the knee or the hip, again, it might look a bit more like this. That's fine. Just don't push through any kind of pain. Just do what feels right. So bringing the legs like this. You may want to bring this belt and hook it around the foot. If you feel particularly tight in the back of the legs or the hamstrings, it's handy to have something here, just to kind of give you a bit of an anchor. Not to pull through any pain, but just if you're tight in the back of the body, gravity will be likely pulling you back, and it'll be enough of an effort to stay upright. So using the belt just to counteract that. So we're going to inhale here, lifting up. And then as you exhale, just coming forwards, maybe shortening the belt, or if you don't have a belt or don't want to use a belt, have the hands around the leg or whatever, or on the floor. Perfect. Whatever feels right. And we're taking a few breaths here. Now see if you can keep this foot pulling towards you. Keep the back of the knee pressing down. You'll feel the stretch possibly in the back of the leg, into the hamstrings and to the sciatic nerve area. And maybe also on the kidney area on the right side of the lower back. So one more breath here, long deep breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. And then coming up from here, and then we're going to move straight into a little twist position. So this leg that's bent, you're just going to bring it up. So this foot is now flat on the floor. And we're going to twist around towards your right side. So hooking around either this left hand like this, or maybe the elbow hooking around the side, whatever feels right, and just have a little lean onto your hand at the back here. Think about lifting up through the crown, chest stays open, this leg can stay active, keep the toe pulling towards you and twisting to look over that right shoulder. Now breathe here, find your breath again here, in through the nose, out through the nose, steady, even breath. Just feeling that twist in your body. And then coming back around to the middle, and we're just going to do those two postures on the other side. So left heel comes in, right leg long. Again, you can use your belt or not, it's entirely up to you. Yeah, sometimes people like it, sometimes they prefer not to use it. So you could have the hands on the floor or on the leg. Inhale to lengthen up through the spine a little, and then as you exhale, come forwards directly over that right leg. Oh, I'll figure out my lefts and rights eventually. So if the right leg is straight, make sure you're dropping the left shoulder down a little. Make sure the body isn't twisted above that leg. Try and get the shoulders parallel above the floor. And a couple more breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Just feeling, notice where you feel resistance in your body. What do you feel in this position? One more breath. And then coming back up from here and bring this foot flat on the mat. Coming into a twist to the other side. So hooking this right hand or elbow maybe around. So we're trying to kind of compress this position, squash the thigh into the belly, into the abdomen, and then twisting around towards the left side. And breathe, in through the nose, out through the nose. Feeling that twist, that rotation coming up through the spine, all the way into the neck. Keep it comfortable. One more breath. And then coming back around to the middle. Great, we're nearly there, we're getting there. Okay, we're going to lie down onto our backs now again, so similar to the position we started this little class in. Feet close into the bum, feet flat on the floor, hands down on the mat. And we're going to lift up into a bridge position now. So tuck your tailbone under, so kind of curl the very lowest part of the spine up and under. And then you're going to lift up the hips and the lower back and the middle back. Lifting the hips up nice and high. Really press down into your feet and into your hands and your arms. Make sure your toes aren't lifting. Press the toes down. And really use your bum muscles. Use your glutes. Lift the hips high. And breathe. Maybe you can really feel the belly moving again here with the breath. Maybe feel the breath expanding the belly as you inhale. One more breath here. See if you can lift the hips any higher. And then rolling down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Down onto your mat. Bring your knees to your chest and give them a good little roll around. So massage those back muscles down onto the mat and squash your belly with your thighs. And then bring your arms out to shoulder level, out to the sides. Maybe put your feet back down on the floor. If your back is a bit more mobile, you might want to have the legs up here. We're going to do a twist to the side. But if the back is feeling a bit stiffer, start with the feet on the mat. And then just drop both of your legs down to the right hand side off your mat, so to the right side. And then turn your head loosely to the left. And just get comfortable in this position. You can kind of, shimmy around. Just relax into it. Close your eyes and breathe long and deep. In through the nose, out through the nose. Smooth, steady breaths. Really feeling where and how the breath is moving in the body. And then bringing the legs over to the left side. So drop them to the left, turn the head to the right. Again, just get comfortable there. Just let the legs relax and drop down. Try not to hold them up in midair like this. Try and find a position, even if you're straightening the legs right out again. Just find a position where the legs can drop and feel supported. You want this to feel quite a passive, restful position. And head turns slightly to the right. And one more long, smooth, deep breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then bring the legs back into the middle again. Bring your knees back into your chest. And then we're going to finish, very last thing before a short relaxation. We're going to lift the arms and legs just quite loosely up above the hips and the shoulders. And roll out through the wrists and the ankles. Just all the small joints of the body, the fingers and the toes. And we would also call this a very mild inversion as well. So getting our arms and legs up above the level of our heart, which encourages the sort of the flow of circulation and lymphatics, everything to kind of drain back down from the limbs, back into the body and towards the heart. Okay, now we're going to get ready for a short relaxation, or shavasana, as we would say in yoga, corpse pose. So if you feel comfortable lying out on your back, take your feet slightly away from each other and let your feet really flop out towards the corners of the mat. And arms slightly away from the sides of the body as well. Palms turn to face up if that feels comfortable. And just let your fingers feel really loose. Make sure your fingers aren't too stretched out. Just relax and curl your fingers in. And again, just make any last little adjustments to get your body nice and comfortable. And then we're going to take a big, deep breath in through the nose here. So fully in through the nose. And this time a big exhale out through the mouth. It's like a big sigh, a big releasing breath out through the mouth. Do that one more time, fully in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now just allow the breath to relax back to its normal, natural resting state. Letting go of all that control of the breath now. Let the breath feel easy and effortless. And let your whole body just drop and sink and relax into the support of the floor underneath you. Completely relax through your feet and your toes. Relax all the muscles in your legs, all around your hips and your pelvis. Completely relax your belly, the space around your heart, your chest. Let your shoulders drop back. Relax all the muscles in your upper back, your middle back, and lower back. Completely let go of your arms and your hands. Relax your neck and your throat so that your head is allowed to feel very heavy, fully supported, fully resting on the floor, and your throat feels clear and open. Relax around your jaw, all around your mouth, all around your eyes, your forehead and temples, and every inch of your scalp. Now become aware of your whole body. Feel your whole body, just as it is, right now. Just resting, relaxed, and still. And now just slowly and gently just bring in little movements back again to your fingers and your toes, arms and legs. You can maybe stretch your arms up and away from your body. Big stretch away through the full length. And then bring your knees in towards you again. Give them a squeeze, a hug in towards you. Rolling your legs around, massage the back onto the floor. And then rolling over onto your side, normally the right hand side, but it doesn't really matter. Over onto your side for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can just push yourself back up into any comfortable seated position. And the last thing we do in the yoga class is just to bring our hands in front of our hearts. Not every yoga teacher does this, but I do. And then we close our eyes and we take a little bow to ourselves and to each other. Namaste. A little thank you to ourselves for spending a little bit of time focusing on our bodies and our breath, just on ourselves, giving ourselves a bit of nourishing attention. So that's us for today, guys. Short little beginner's session. I will be doing longer classes on here in due course as well. And hopefully there'll be some more progressions that you can move on from. But any comments, questions or feedback, I'm really always delighted to get. So let me know how you found that. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.